Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Schiff, the wonderful and amazing Congressman Adam Schiff, has had this story regarding President Trump and transcripts since August. They've already sat on this and had this as just a public relations ploy, but I'm going to get to in a moment William Barr stating that President Trump did not violate any campaign finance laws. There were no campaign finance laws. What they're trying to say is that in order to benefit himself for the 2020 election, Trump had the audacity, the absolute unmitigated gall and audacity to try to find out the misconduct of Joe Biden because Biden is on video like he usually does, bragging about if he's not, defeating cornflakes in a 1950s Romeo and Juliet style confrontation. He's going after grape nuts. There's not a breakfast cereal that has ever even defeated, the former vice president. But he's on video bragging to the Council on Foreign Relations, about withholding $1 billion, $1 billion with a B, until the Ukraine fires a prosecutor he wants fired. And they do. Because they want the $1 billion. And then everybody from the Washington Post to Chris Cuomo says, well, he did that. Yes, it was quid pro quo. But it wasn't for self-serving purposes. Because there's no evidence that he did it for his son. Aha! That's the issue. It's a conflict of interest. You don't know with 99 or 100% certainty that he did it because that prosecutor he wanted let go was investigating a corporation that was funneling $3 million to Hunter. We don't know with 100% certainty, but we could pretty much guess that, a transfer of $3 million to his son made a difference. It was a conflict of interest. It made him think twice about official action as a vice president. One could make the assumption that $700,000 to the spouse of Andrew McCabe, since he loves his spouse, it possibly affected the fact that he basically didn't really investigate Clinton's email debacle with servers that had top secret intelligence on them, but he went overboard using a dossier to frame and set up and fabricate an investigation into Trump. One could say maybe the $700,000 from Terry McAuliffe and Clinton allies possibly had something to do with Andrew McCabe. One could say, that the Democratic National Committee outsourcing and actually paying a company called CrowdStrike to then look at their servers maybe had something to do with CrowdStrike repeating exactly what they had stated. So, and then people say, the intelligence community confirmed. It's like, no, nobody could have confirmed unless they actually had the hardware and the software and the data. The rebuttal is, CrowdStrike gave pristine copies. How do you know this? How do you know that CrowdStrike gave pristine copies to of the DNC servers? To even the ODNI and DHS reports come with warranty disclaimers. The actual intelligence community is not certain. It's only highly to moderately confident. They're playing everyone, and the thing is, half the country, less than half probably, wants to be played. So there are no campaign finance violations because he didn't accept a thing of value. So here, Trump DOJ clears president of violating campaign finance law on Ukraine Biden. Call. The Department of Justice revealed, this is the other day, but it's still relevant today, very important, because it undermines any impeachment. They're going to try to impeach Trump because Clinton is running again. Okay, it's obvious. All of this is to pave the way for the golden muumuu. All of this. And I am the only person in media, as small as I am in terms of a voice, I am the only person in media around the world, really, because YouTube is worldwide. The only person who's consistently stated from 2017 till today that there was nothing going on. I mean, I'm thinking about the Trump-Russia Steele dossier. I was one of the few people to say it was complete nonsense from the very beginning. I was one of the few people on the left to say that Clinton could not win. Perhaps maybe the only loudest voice that said on the left that said Clinton couldn't win when I was on the left. Now I'm a Trump supporter, as you can see. And I am one of the only people in all of media around the world who said consistently from 2017 till today that Hillary Clinton will run because the Democratic Party is controlled essentially by two people. There is no Democratic Party. There doesn't exist. There is no political party. It's an extension of two people. But here, and a campaign finance violation, she funneled money to purchase a dossier to then help her with 2020. So, I mean, you want to talk about campaign finance. And I wrote in the Daily Caller all the campaign finance issues, the dossier, correct the record, all of these complaints from FEC, FEC complaints. Luckily for Clinton, the FEC doesn't really exist anymore. So, however, so the criminal division, after reviewing the matter, determined there was no campaign finance violation, has concluded the matter. William Barr concludes. He has concluded that President Trump did not break any campaign finance laws. There you go, game, set, match. What are they going to? They're going to say, well, he tried to strong arm. Well, that's exactly what Biden did. And look, it doesn't matter. So here, the news comes after Trump faces impeachment. The criminal division, after reviewing the matter, determined there was no campaign finance violation and has concluded the matter. It's done. Knowledgeable people, no criminal violation based on the call, transcripts. Okay, so there you go. He has every right to invoke President Trump did nothing wrong. The problem is they don't want Democrats feel that Trump shouldn't even consider himself president. Democrats feel that Trump shouldn't even make any reference to the Attorney General or anyone. They feel that he is an occupant. They feel that what Hillary Clinton states, he's an illegitimate president. He shouldn't have been president because Russia hacked the DNC to inform the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated. Why don't they continue with the logic? Russia interfered. How? With Facebook ads that told the truth about Clinton, or that told obvious, lies and deceit, and so people were gullible and they just. She hasn't done enough in, 30, 40 years of politics to warrant, to overshadow. I mean, her accomplishments haven't overshadowed Facebook ads. I can tell you right now, I'm voting for Trump, and I don't care. I don't even have Facebook, and I do not have Twitter. Let everyone know also, I do not have Twitter. People are referencing a person that's pretending to be me on Twitter. I do not have a Twitter account, and I do not have a Facebook account. I believe that those sites, any message board site, is going to be extremely, will have a negative impact on people's health. I really do. I think that if your blood pressure is elevated just a tiny bit from any type of social media site during this election, just delete it. You don't need to be on there, because if you enjoy it and you don't care, fine. But if you get into it with people and you just, you're tired and you don't want to have to keep defending Trump, and, you just, if your blood pressure is elevated in the least bit, also, listen to me clearly. And if anything, this segment will be worth it. If you've lasted to my 10-minute crowd, do not ever, and I have a website coming out soon regarding how you can defeat anyone on the left on any major debate, especially people who have TDS. But do not ever debate or get into a passionate discussion with somebody who can't stand Trump. They will not listen to reason. They will not listen to logic. They will try to denigrate and demean and mitigate any of his accomplishments, from détente and the beginning of peace between North and South Korea, to record low Black and Latino unemployment, to the fact that Hispanic and Latino men have a lower unemployment rate than the national average, 3.1% to 3.7%. Do not, absolutely do not get into any argument or debate with a person who has derangement issues regarding Trump, because they will turn into, what's the creature with the ring? Precious. They will turn into that right in front of your eyes. And it doesn't matter. It could be like the most beautiful person in your family to a coworker to anyone. They cannot, his personality is too much for them. Every day his personality is confirmation that the world that they thought existed doesn't exist. That world where President Obama and President Bush said, well, we engaged in this military intervention, and, well, it didn't work out, but we are trying again to better... That whole, like, hey, you did... What President Obama and President Bush did from a military perspective was not only horrendous, infinitely outweighs anything negative Trump has ever done. His foreign policy is a million times better than Bush and President Obama's. That's a fact. He hasn't destroyed a country. You can attribute you can attribute numerous failed states to both President Obama and President Bush. But what they're doing, you have to understand why Clinton is going to run. It's going to be a rematch of 2020. I'm the only person on planet Earth who has said this consistently since 2017. I wrote in the Huffington Post, and I wrote in the Times of Israel, and those articles are below in the pinned comment. The way they look at it is this: they lost by around 70,000 votes. So if they continue to there are two ways to gain votes. One is to just continually beat down the populace with negative stories about Trump and try to overshadow any advantage he has from even negative publicity is good publicity. So the way President Trump is that you can't compare favorability ratings. He has negative favorability ratings, but Clinton's, even though they were slightly better, were far worse, because Clinton is not the heel in a WWE wrestling match. Trump is. He benefits from people saying, "Oh my God," because everyone else there's for everyone who says I can't stand Trump, there's another person who says, you know what, I like the fact that Trump is dealing with the $400 billion trade deficit. If he has to deal with it in tariffs, for every person who says, "Oh my God, these tariffs are hurting different sectors of the economy," there's another person, or maybe numerous people, that say, "Hey, wait a second. If we don't deal with the $400 billion trade deficit, China's only getting bigger. The future is China and India. It's not our future. It's not our future. The future of the world is not going to be run by the United States of America. It will be run by China and India. So if you don't understand this as an American, you have a big problem. Trump does. For all the grief he gets, oh my God, he said this and this and this and that, and he's xenophobic. No. He understands the future of the planet is a Chinese and an Indian future. It's not an American. China and India will be number 1 and 2 in terms of the economy. We will be 3. Okay, 3. We will be 3rd in by 2050. Those are the estimates. And you can say goodbye to France and the UK and Germany in terms of being in Italy and being top 10 economies. The EU is like, they're going to be no match for China at all. No match. So for every person who's like, oh my God, look what he's doing with tariffs. Well, no, he's addressing an issue now when we have leverage. Because 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, we ain't going to have any leverage at all. But I mean, look, these things are lost upon Democrats who are frothing at the mouth. You cannot, they think that, they, in their warped craniums, think that Trump derived something of value because he wanted to investigate the wrongdoing of Biden? What? It was Biden's wrongdoing. Trump in the phone call never said, you're not going to get this. Biden was like, you're not going to get the billion, and even call President Obama. He'll back me up. Like, he was brazen. He was overt and brazen and in your face. And all the bravado from Biden, it just doesn't work out at all. Cornflakes and cornflakes. And everyone's like, what? What are you talking about? And then, Hillary can just, trot in and be like, he's cornflakes. He's crazy. He's going after Cocoa Puffs and Count Chocula and Lucky Charms. I mean, really, it's bad enough we have Trump. Do we need this? No. I'm running. Vote for me. Where are 50 points ahead, you motherfucker? So, Warren has zero chance at Warren. No one has even touched the DNA test. How do you have 3 or 4 debates, the 4th debate coming up, and they haven't even talked about the DNA test? You failed your DNA test. Oh, and guess what? There's a possibility that you benefited from deceiving people regarding the failed DNA test prior to you taking it in probably one of the worst public relations stunts of all time, only after a distant second after President Obama drank Flint water. Oh, that's right. To say, oh, this water is fantastic. What is it? It's great. Good to drink. Like, no, it's not good to drink. And it was not good for your health when President Obama drank it. But if Trump drank it, it's like, oh my God, this is a plot to actually, force people to lose their lives. Oh my God, what the orange menace. If President Obama does it, drinks water that's polluted, in an effort to convince people it's safe, when it's not safe, the water at Flint, when he drank it, oh my God, it's just, well, what happened? It was well-meaning. It was well-meaning. And literally, there are publications like, well-meaning attempt. It's like, really? Well-meaning attempt? Okay. Yeah, we should really listen to you. You have the moral high ground, Democrats, on everything. That's the whole... whatever. All you have to do is stand up. Whatever. That's a whole other story. The great thing about Trump is he doesn't care what they think of him. He does not care at all. He doesn't care at all. And that's the great thing about President Trump. He doesn't care at all. Is he perfect? No. No, he's not perfect. But he's going to defeat Clinton again. And this Ukraine transcript nonsense is hilarious. Because they've gotten themselves into yet another frenzy. But they don't have Sessions and they don't have Clapper. So now what do they have? They don't have Brennan. They don't have Comey. So what do they have? They have somebody who can easily be traced back to Brennan and can easily be traced back to the establishment, almost certainly Clinton, that doesn't like Trump. So they have somebody who wrote a complaint, maybe a mid-level manager someplace. They don't have the top. So they get somebody in the middle, and they say, oh, well, you know what? This person is courageously calling out Trump. It's like, no. You're not talking about Daniel Ellsberg or Chelsea Manning or Edward Snowden or Assange, who's a publisher, or John Kiriakou or Jeffrey Sterling. You're not talking about a person that's really speaking truth to power and a person who had to be imprisoned by President Obama's administration for speaking truth to power. You're talking about a political operative. It just so happens that, see, what they did with the DNC emails, they're like, well, you know what? This hurts Trump. And where's Trump's email? This is Clinton. Where's Trump's emails? It's like, even if you got them, you wouldn't get him cheating anyone. Do you understand it in your brains? You wouldn't get that he was, that the RNC was, if anything, he was the person, the RNC was trying to cheat him, and he won. And he was like, if you cheat me, I'm taking everyone down. Not like Bernie, he was like, if you cheat me, you want to know what I'll do to you? Do you want to know what I'll do to you? I'll make sure that you have your propaganda disseminated throughout the entire planet. And I will be a good Democrat. Even though technically I'm not, because I'm independent. But really, what I'll do is I'll say that Russia informed the country that I was cheated, therefore making me the one who cheated Hillary because I was part of a Putin plot. So, to recap, Deborah Wasserman Schultz cheated me. I funneled $200 million from voters into the Democrats' bank for Hillary. And she lost after cheating me. And the DNC emails proved that, so Deborah Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign in disgrace. And because people knew about that, it was a Putin plot because the Russians gave money into the Clinton Foundation through Uranium One officials. But we don't talk about that. They were very scared of Hillary. Oh, yeah. They actually wanted everyone to know I was cheated because they wanted Trump. Does that make any sense to any normal human being? It shouldn't, but it does. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Clinton is going to lose to Trump again. I will correctly predict the election again. I'm not perfect, but I saw this a mile away coming. 10 miles away. It's going to be a rematch, folks. It'll be 2016 on steroids. You ain't seen nothing yet. It'll be more chaotic, divisive. There'll be more mayhem. There'll be more stories. This is going to be This is going to be a unhealthy, a psychologically, I would say, unhealthy election cycle. But if you know what's coming, you can enjoy it. If you watch this channel, you know what's coming, so that you can enjoy the election. Give me your thoughts below. Trump will defeat Clinton again. Clinton's running, definitely. And give me your thoughts. Thank you so very, very much.